Today, in the most shocking news ever, Iran is upset that Israel is trying to sabotage their nuclear talks with the U.S. Hold on, wait a second. Are you telling me that the country that Iran has openly sworn to destroy again and again might not be so thrilled about them acquiring nuclear weapons? No way! That's wild. I would have thought they'd get a fruit basket and a congratulations card from Bibi. Iran's foreign ministry is whining about a coalition forming to disrupt what they call diplomacy. Coincidentally, it's run by countries that Iran has openly threatened to destroy. Meanwhile, Tehran's foreign minister just wrapped up a lovely visit to Moscow, and now he's flying to China for more consultations. Iran's foreign minister told state TV that he always closely consults with Russia and China regarding the nuclear question. So Iran is having nuclear talks with the U.S. while simultaneously getting advice from their sworn enemies. China, who has basically cut trade ties with the U.S., and Russia, who has not exactly been in the U.S.'s good graces. If you want to know who someone is, just look at their friends. In world news, Pope Francis passed away at 88 this morning. President Herzog called him a man of compassion, of interfaith vision, someone who saw real value in the Jewish-Christian relationship. The European Jewish Congress called him a fighter against anti-Semitism and someone who actually showed up, visiting synagogues, meeting rabbis, and backing words with action. But in some Jewish circles, this moment hits on a whole different level. There is a prophecy going all the way back to the Kabbalistic work of the Zohar that talks about the fall of Edom. Now, if you know your terms, you know that Edom equals Rome equals Christianity, or the Vatican, in Jewish esoteric language. And in that framework, the Pope is seen as the king of Edom. So when the king of Edom falls, that signifies a massive spiritual shift. The Zohar says it straight. When the great kingdom of Edom falls, Jerusalem will begin to rise. And it's not just the Zohar. Even in the 17 and 1800s, Rabbi Yehuda Alkalai and other big Kabbalists in Jerusalem taught that when the final pope dies, it'll mark the collapse of spiritual Rome and open the gates for the final redemption. Now, does that mean that Mashiach will come tomorrow? Well, we hope today. But for those who learn the text, this isn't just world news, this is prophetic alignment. Something interesting to pay attention to. National Security Minister Itamar Ben Gvir just took off on his first official visit to the United States. He's flying business class to Florida with plans to stop in Miami, New York, and D.C. Now, who's he meeting? I bet there's a long list. Well, not many people. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was supposed to meet him, canceled. The ADL, they're not meeting. AJC, not meeting. Jewish Federation, not even asked. Even a fundraiser at the Jewish Children's Museum in Brooklyn was shut down before it started. The only group that has agreed to host him is Shabtai, a Yale-based Jewish society. 2 events, one on campus and one on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. That's the whole trip. So yeah, he's technically on an official visit, or some might call it a vacation with very heavy security detail. Israeli politician Simcha Rothman says he received another suspicious envelope in the mail. This is the second round for him and part of a growing pattern targeting coalition members and their families. He blasted the Shin Bet, saying that they've been way too busy messing around to do their actual job, protecting elected officials. Then Yair Lapid steps in with his trademark moral stance, warning that the rhetoric could lead to political murder, which is kind of rich coming from the same guy who once said that he'd barricade himself with an M16 and yelled, "You want war? You'll get war," at a Tel Aviv protest. Rothman didn't let that slide either. He dragged Lapid through the mud for the hypocrisy and asked how the guy who pours political gasoline on every fire now wants to be the fire marshal. Nothing but the same old circus in Israeli politics. President of the United States of A, Donald Trump, is back at it again, and this time he's threatening to cut another $1 billion in funding from Harvard. First it was freezing $2.3 billion, and now it's targeting health research money. Or so they say. Why? Because Harvard refused to shut down pro-Hamas demonstrations on U.S. soil. And when asked to put an end to it, they called it government overreach and said that they wouldn't let Washington take control of their students or their curriculum. Trump, not amused, and was more than happy to lay down the good old American law. Iran's negotiating in Rome, coordinating with China and Russia, and blaming Israel for trying to stop it. The Pope has sadly passed away. Ben Gvir is traveling solo to the United States, and our politicians are so busy blaming each other for incitement that they forgot to actually lead a country. The threat is real. The clock is ticking. And the other side, they're not stalling. They're moving quite fast. This has been Overnight Israel for JFeed.com. I'm Simcha Brodsky. See you tomorrow.